Hi guys, thanks for joining me. You might have seen last night I got voted out the first person off. So I'm here today. Feel free to send me in your questions, anything you might have about what's going on or where you think things are heading. So I've got a question here. Danielle asks, do you think there was anything different you could have done to change the vote? Good question. I do. I think that I really think that I didn't let the other champions know clearly enough the asset that I might have been in the mental aspects of the challenges coming up. So I think that some of them saw that maybe physically I could be beneficial, but maybe on the mental side I should have pointed out to them, hey, by the way, I'm a memory expert, so you might want to keep me around for memory challenges or puzzles, that sort of thing. And we've got... so, sorry. We've got... Tom asks, what was the weirdest thing to happen to you on Survivor? Thank you, Tom. The weirdest thing to happen to me on Survivor probably was, or maybe not the weirdest, but the most kind of unnerving was when it got dark and there was no torch, and realising that maybe having a one-piece jumpsuit was not the most practical thing for going to the toilet in the bush and trying to step over logs. You basically have to, it wasn't as simple as some of the other outfits I could have chosen. So thanks for that one. Hannah asks, favourite person from each group. So favourite person from each group, I think from the champs, I really like, there's a couple of people I really like. I really like Janine. I kind of just clicked with her, but also I think that she's really fiery and really strong, obviously very clever. And I think just as long as she can kind of hide the fact that she could be a really big threat, then that's going to go well for her. From the other side, it's difficult because I wasn't there for very long, but I think I quite like Sarah, actually. She seems gentle and nice, but fiery, unpredictably so. So Daniel asks, did you think you were going home? Yes, I did think I was going home, and I was worried about it, but what happened was we sort of ran out of time. So we came back from the challenge, and then, we sort of thought we'd sorted things out, and then suddenly it all changed and it all went really weird, and I knew something was wrong, but we really didn't have time to kind of go and fix it up. So I thought I was going home, and I just kind of was sitting there trying to analyse how do I change this around now? I've only got the tribal. So Zach asks, who's calling the shots? I think there's a couple of people that are calling the shots. Nova certainly was calling a few shots on while I was there. I think there's some people who are sort of more leadershipy. ET certainly was doing some leadership sort of roles. And then I think there's some, obviously there's the people that are coming across a bit less obviously calling the shots, but are doing that like Bradbury. He's in there as well. David asks, how tough was it on the island? It was tough. It was tough. I mean, sleeping on the ground and all of that stuff, it's actually not that bad. It's the toughness is in, for me anyway, was in feeling like, you've got this really short time to forge these friendships, but they're really like frenemies, as in, that eventually you're going to have to either stab someone or get stabbed. And so that was really difficult. I found that the toughest bit. Robin asks, did you try to look for an idol? I ran out of time, like I was saying. So when I realised there was trouble, it was, oh no, there's trouble, I'm in trouble. So, and then maybe able to go look for an idol, and I knew Luke was off looking for an idol that, maybe he would have helped play with me. But it was too late, basically. So Cass asks, how do you become a memory expert? Nice question, Cass, I like it. Becoming a memory expert is just like doing any other form of physical fitness. So you might have read scientific studies that the brain has neuroplasticity and all of that. It's true. So you become a memory expert basically by exercising your mind to remember more and more things. So anyone can do it, which is the exciting thing. Bob asks, what are your thoughts on Pia? Bob, I think if I met Pia down the road with a friend having a coffee, I think I'd love her. And there were moments in the beginning where I really clicked with her. I think that she's got a chance to go far. She might do that fly under the radar thing and go far. Obviously, when it became her or me, then you have these feelings of, oh no, her, not me. But yeah, overall, I think she's pretty cunning and has a good chance of cunning in a good way and has a chance of going quite far. Leanne says, I liked you and wanted you to stay. Leanne, I like you too and I wanted to stay. Thank you so much for your question. Yeah, I did want to go further, particularly just because I really wanted to use memory techniques to remember really exciting amounts of information about the show. And then, be it Tribal 30 and someone tries to chop my head off and go, blah, 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 and spiel out all this information, and everyone would have gone, oh my God, that's so cool. That would have been really fun. So, but thank you. I really appreciate that. Sam asks, what's your highest score on Tetris? I love it. I know I don't love Tetris. I mean, I haven't played it, but I love the question. Thank you. It's a classic. It's hilarious. What have we got here? Oh, Tom asks, will you marry me? Is that a true offer, Tom? Really? I thought I looked a little intense in last night's episode, but I will take that as a massive compliment. I'm sure you're lovely looking and lovely as a person. Ben asks, would you play the game again? Yes, absolutely. Of course I'd play it again. As a competitive person, I think pretty much only competitive people go on Survivor. When I don't get what I want, I normally go, okay, I'll try again, and what do I do now? Unfortunately, with Survivor, it's not the kind of thing you go, okay, I'm going to get back up and try again, unless I'm given the opportunity. So maybe, but yeah, I'd do it again. Lachlan asks, could you beat Nova in MasterChef? I reckon. I'm sure Nova is a lovely cook, and I'm, all respect to her. And there's lots of people in the world who love to cook, but I do love cooking, and, it's a thing in my family. We all love cooking and feeding people and enjoying, that stuff. So I think if she chucked in a little bit of rice and coconut cream and a little bit with it, a couple of herbs, I could see it. We could do MasterChef Survivor. It could be great. Shirley says, hey. Hey, Shirley. I don't think that's a question, but I'll take it. Okay. Courtney asks, if she's wondering if Luke can win. I really hope that Luke could win. I like Luke. He's funny. I think, obviously, because people have seen his game before, he's going to have a target on his back. Initially, I think he's protected by that because he's got valuable skills to give. You go, oh, how do we do this? What happens with this? He's like a little leader, but I think that in time that might turn a bit deadly. So I'm hoping that his lovely personality, saves him out there. Ben asks, so if you played again differently, what would you do? Look, I am as Nova put it, a big personality. I'm not really a big personality. I'm just one of those people who, says what they think and stuff like that. I had intended to go into the game and be just a little bit more initially reserved and quiet. I never wanted to be someone to fly under the radar because it's not my, it's not my jive. But I did intend to kind of go in and just try and be a normal person for a couple of days, because it's often the person who kind of sticks out that gets chopped down. And so I would definitely try and use a little bit more self-control to try and be normal. Craig says, they're lost when it comes to the challenges. Thank you, Craig. I appreciate your question, and I hope that you're right. I kind of feel like, I felt a little bit like, can't you see that you know, an ex-ballerina has got something else to add to the challenges. You know, you're light and you're agile and you've got balance and all of that sort of stuff. And, you know, and then there's this memory and mental aspect that I could have added. So I appreciate the support. Reese, I don't know if I've pronounced your name right, sorry, asks, what is the most frustrating thing about getting voted out first? It's definitely, for me, it's that I didn't have enough time to get the others to get to know me, and also to show what I can do, you know, to really like eat up the maximum challenge of what Survivor is, because it's just this incredible game that, you know, all of us who love it just want to play to the max that you absolutely can. So that's the most, you know, the worst bit about going home first. Amy asks, best part about camp life? I think, Amy, I reckon the best part about camp life is actually these moments, there's these odd moments of serenity where, you know, you sit down together and for a second you forget that eventually you're going to have to vote each other, and you have this moment of bonding and, like, you know, kind of getting to know each other, and yeah, this true kind of going through this really rough experience together, or like amazing experience together. You know, it's very much a bonding experience. Catty asks, can you give us an example of how your memory works? Good question, I like it. My memory works by translating boring information into exciting information by making funny visual pictures. Sounds really crazy, but it's a thing that actually works, and you can train yourself to do it. So, for example, if you're reading a list of numbers that are super boring and you can't remember them, you change it into like a really interesting story. And there's a method to doing that, and it just uses creativity and thinking outside the square and learning differently. Mike asks, are you going to watch tonight's episode? Yes, I am, but tonight I'm definitely going to have a whiskey. I was trying to keep my sanity and wits about me last night, because I reckon I had about 300 texts and my fingers were going like this as fast as I could. But yeah, I'm going to watch it tonight. I want to see what happens. I want to see how it unfolds. I want to see how they all go, you know. Oh, I did pronounce your name right. Thank you. Leon asks, do you like the Sporty Alliance? I mean, I understand why it's happening, but, you know, the Sporty Alliance thing, it's kind of it's a bit dull. You know, it's a bit done. It's a bit boring. But, you know, it makes sense. Obviously, you know, you've seen the group numbers and stick together, be sporty. But I don't know. Survivor's more than that, I think. So to me, it's a bit dull. Anthony asks, would you recommend Fiji for a holiday? Yeah, it's great. It's a beautiful place. The food, maybe not for MasterChef, some of it. But yeah, it's a lovely place, you know, beautiful. The beaches are just, you know, if you can find an isolated beach, I know a really good one, don't tell anyone. Yeah, no, it's beautiful, so absolutely. Fran asks, who did you try to align with? I had quite a good alignment actually with Janine. Like, I really clicked with her. We had some similarities, some similar sort of, we both love Ashtanga yoga, and she's really cool. I kind of naturally clicked with her. Luke and David, they were great. They were a good pair, and I reckon, you know, while obviously Luke has his slippery elements to his play, you know, I could definitely see myself aligning with them, and some of the other sports people as well, just as long as they'd let me into the sporty circle or come on over. Tom asks, do you watch The Days of Our Lives? I'm not quite sure why you're asking me that question. Is it because my jumpsuit's daggy? It's a bit 1980s. No, I love my jumpsuit. I don't really know why you're asking that question. I think I did a long time ago. Maybe it's because I'm old. Pam asks, did you train for the show? I did do some extra training. I did a little bit more physical training, and I did more mental training as well. So I also learned, obviously, all the normal stuff. How do you light a fire with flint? You know, all of that palaver. And I did some funny little training exercises, like I'd get like a 6 kilo weight and just hold it above my head for as long as I could until I had to drop it down, and then increased it every day, you know, like watching the stopwatch, that sort of thing. So I did a couple of crazy, you know, people saw me standing in the park on one leg on top of a bit of equipment, so that would have been amusing. Belinda asks, would you have been better on the Contenders Trap? Maybe. I think that I've kind of felt like the underdog of the champion tribe, but yeah, possibly. I don't know. Maybe they would have then gone, oh, she's an asset because she's got this physical ability and mental ability. Could be. Elizabeth says, kind of hope there's a memory challenge soon so they can regret voting you out. My sentiments exactly. That's what I was kind of going, oh, please, let there be a really hard memory challenge soon where they have to run up and remember as many things as they can and run back and take turns. And I know they would be able to run up and just remember it all. That would be really fun. I know that's a bit evil, but yeah, everyone always hopes that they're gonna regret chucking them out, I suppose. Let's see what else is going on here. Okay. Wait. Bodie asks, how's the mullet? I reckon he seems pretty funny. I like him so far. I mean, I didn't really have much to do with him, but he seems like he's a bit of a character. He's pretty funny, pretty, he's got a bit of personality. So we'll see how he goes. Shana asks, was it cold at night? Interesting question, Shana. I actually had that jumpsuit made for me by a good friend called Amber Fraser. And I did say to her, I don't actually have a lot of body fat. Do you think it's possible that you could line this with flannelette? So I was wearing my flannelette pajamas, which was great because it felt really, really comfy. And the only time I really regretted it, well, 2 times, was once going to the toilet in the middle of the night and twice wading through water. It got really heavy. But besides that, it was much warmer at night having that on. Mike asks, if you could pick one former survivor to align with, who would it be? Oh my God, that's a really hard question, Mike, and a good one. Oh. Well, to be honest, before I went on the show, I remember saying to some of my friends, oh my God, if Luke had been on the show when I was on the show, I so definitely would have been in his little group. So maybe it's Luke. But no, I think there's other people as well, like, there's, you know what? It's too hard a question. There's many of them. There's so many different people I liked. Matt asks, do you think you're a better cook than everyone in the camp? No, Matt, I don't. Thank you for your question. I don't know what the other people are like at cooking. In fact, I really only have 1 or 2 meals to judge Nova's cooking on too, so I don't really know what her cooking's like either. But I imagine there were probably some pretty good cooks in the camp. Conan, I don't know if that's how I pronounce your name, sorry again, asks, what's your favourite meme? There's been a couple of funny ones actually. I really liked, there was quite a few funny ones. There was one with David in The Matrix, that was really amusing. And that same one had me in a jumpsuit next to Hillary Clinton, which I sort of thought was really funny. And had Laura as a Teletubby. It was so cute because she was so cute. But I think there's some pretty good ones out there. I love them. They're awesome. I reckon they should keep rolling in. So I think we've got time for one more question. So last question. What would you do differently next time? Probably try and be a little bit a bit calmer, more natural in the beginning, more natural, more normal in the beginning. And then at the tribal, be ready to just, it's, if you think your name's on the chopping block, it's your last chance to just go bang, 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 and, put up a good case. So thank you very much for watching. I appreciate everyone coming and putting in their comments today. I hope I've answered some of your questions. Don't forget, you've got to watch tonight at 7:30. I'm sure it's going to be awesome. Apparently there's this amazing challenge. So catch that tonight, and thanks very much.